This is how we'll be grading your short answer and essay questions most of the year. We'll use our LEQ question from the Culture unit to show you how we grade. Before we look at a couple samples, these are some basic questions you should be asking yourself before and after and during the writing process. First, have you read all the directions? Sometimes students just begin writing without reading the directions, and that really hurts them. Second, does your answer the question completely? If it doesn't, please go back and redo what you've missed. Third, have you organized your thoughts into paragraphs? Instead of writing one giant paragraph for an answer, separate your thoughts into paragraphs so it's easier to read. And last but not least, have you rechecked your work? Always go back and reread what you've typed to make sure that you've answered the question. Example number 1 is our first look at the 4 cultural revolutions and a writing sample that goes with it. You can see that in this particular instance, the student has correctly identified all 4 cultural revolutions. They've also identified the correct definition and explanation for each of the revolutions. They've decided to use one big paragraph, but probably should have separated it into 4 separate paragraphs. Because this follows all the directions in the rubric and answers the question completely, it shows that the student has mastered this particular skill. That means it gets a grade of 3. Example number 2 is another student attempt to answer the 4 cultural revolutions question. You can see that the student has clearly indicated where his 4 revolutions and explanations are. If you look at the actual answer, you will see that his hunters and gatherers example is correct, his agricultural revolution example is correct. Unfortunately, his 3rd revolution, which should be the industrial revolution, is named wrong, but he did recover and name the information revolution correctly. His definitions and explanations are sufficient, with the only major problem being the title in his 3rd revolution. Because the student shows that he does understand the material, but just needs a little bit of assistance, this LEQ short answer would receive a score of 2. Example number 3 is a very short answer for our LEQ. Let's get this straight. It doesn't have to be long to be correct, but sometimes when you look at an answer, you have an idea or an inkling that it's just not going to be enough. You can see that they try to indicate, by separating their 4 examples, the 4 cultural revolutions. That's good. Unfortunately, when you get to the meat of the answer, you see that the hunters and gatherers example is correct, but the next 3 are incorrect. They use daily life, history, and ethnic groups as examples of the cultural revolutions. Unfortunately, we know that those are elements of culture instead. This student has shown that they do not quite grasp the information. They're going to need further assistance in reteaching. Because of that, this essay or short answer would receive a score of 1, and the student would have to redo this particular assignment. Example number 4 is our last writing sample that we'll look at for our LEQ and short answer explanations of grading. You can see that the student has separated the answer into 4 paragraphs, exactly what we want. Each paragraph deals with one of the revolutions. You can see that they've named the revolutions correctly in each paragraph. In addition, they've also explained the importance of each revolution correctly. What sets this example apart from our first example, which was a score of 3, is that in the third paragraph, the student uses an example of steam trains to talk about the Industrial Revolution. In the fourth paragraph, they talk about robotics and planes and 3D when talking about the Information Revolution. We didn't talk about these things in class, and it shows that the student has an extended idea or goes above and beyond knowing the information that we're covering. Because of that, this student would receive a score of 3+, the highest score possible in our grading rubric. Thanks for watching, and if you have any other questions about how we grade here, our short answer and essay questions, please see me or Mr. Squignoli. Have a great day.